Hey everyone, I'm at the new house, got a busy day today. Electrician's coming in. I'm going to put in a dual flush system into one of the toilets and a flapper replacement kit in the other toilet. I'll show you some of that. We put some paint swatches up on the wall. I think we're happy with the colors. We're going to do a dark charcoal accent wall, silverish gray on the rest of the walls. Office is going to be the same color. Bedrooms are going to have like a tint of pink or a tint of purple. So it's pretty exciting. I'm going to also be starting to tear out this crappy sheet linoleum, whatever this is. It seems to be just pinned in there. There might be a little bit of glue. I'll show you some of that. And that's going to be most of my day, throwing away stuff and tearing stuff out. Electrician was supposed to be here about a half hour ago. Hopefully he shows up soon, because I'd really like to get started on what I need to do without worrying about listening for the door. So, come on Ross, any minute now. Razor blade, just gonna cut away at the seams so I don't ruin the countertop. Until we get something else in, we are gonna have to use this. But I don't know what backsplash we're getting, and I want the painter to be able to paint all the kitchen the same color and not be like, all right, come back and just do behind the counter. So I'm trying to be careful to just cut the silicone. I don't want to damage the windowsill. I don't care if I damage the blue too much, but I want the windowsill to be in good shape. Taking my time. Didn't really do any there. Alright, just got off the phone with the electrician. He's not coming today. Scheduling screw up. He had me scheduled for next week, but because we moved in early and even though we discussed it, he forgot to update his book. It happens. So it might be his loss. He might not make it in a video tomorrow because I don't know if I'll do a video tomorrow. So I'm still going to keep doing a little bit of work here. Still going to do the toilets, maybe something else, and I will show you what's going on. Alright, when you're putting the screws in for your faceplate, just be careful not to tighten them too much. They're just supposed to rest and protect against the wall and seal the hole, not like hold anything in place. So if you screw them too tight, you're going to break it. And then there's less chance of me losing this than there is of these. So always put the screws back in the hole you took them out of, so you know you have one there. So you can see we're gonna have to do some work on the back here. They just basically covered up a world of crap. So fun. We'll either be patching holes and doing a lot of just a lot of patching, or will we just cut this out and put a whole new fresh sheet mounted to the wall? Have to talk to the contractor, see which way is the most cost effective. This counter's turning out to be a bigger pain in the ass than it's supposedly worth. But I'm going to keep at it. and I'll show you when it's all done. Alright, so I'm in the basement, the half bath. I'm going to put in the Smarter Flush flapper replacement kit. Sorry about that. Should be pretty simple installation. There's nothing really wrong with this flapper, but this is supposed to be a better product. So I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to put in. And then I'm going to do the upstairs later, but I have the wrong one, so I'll do that another day. Alright, so anytime you mess with the toilet, you always got to drain the water. Easiest way to do that, every tank should have a shutoff valve here. You can see the water's in there. So turn it to the right. Water should stop. Just lift the flapper, the water will drain out. You have a little bit left at the bottom of the tank, but it shouldn't be enough to make that big of a difference. Little water never hurt anybody. So I'm going to open the package and follow the directions, because even though I think I know what I'm supposed to do, I always want to make sure. So how many parts do we got? One, there's a new handle. Garbage. Instructions. Very nice. Alright, so we got 12 easy steps. Shut off the water. We did that. Flush the toilet. Remove the tank lid. Put it in a safe place. Got rid of it. Remove the handle and arm assembly. The existing arm. Let's see here. Let me show you what I'm doing. So this is a newer toilet, so it wasn't too tight. Just unscrewing that. I gotta take the chain off. You can see this. Most of them are just clipped on anymore. I've seen people use paper clips and all kinds of weird stuff to get it to hold. There we go. So that was the little hook just through the holes. They have a couple of them so you can adjust it. Just gonna set that off to the side. Alright, step 3. Remove flapper and chain from arm. Okay. Not wanting to break anything. Alright, it does just pop off. There we go. Flapper and chain is removed. Because that's wet, I'm going to throw that in the sink. There's the camera I'm using to film the big wide angle, which you can't see anything in the toilet though, so won't be using that too much. Remove the hose from the overflow. So that would be this. Alright, yep. Slide attachment collar of the flush valve down over the overflow tube. That would be this. Let me double check here. So, in the directions for step 5, it says to attach or to slide the attachment collar of the flush valve down over the overflow tube with the cam adjuster inserted into the dome rubber position is seated in the discharge hole. So this is going to go over here, right? So that's the overcharge or the overflow tube. But I have to attach these together first. They don't come together in the box. Looks like that's gonna sit like that. I want the hose maybe away. Yep. So it's got this notch, if you can see it there. So that lines up, right? So once it's together, it doesn't stay, it just sits. So you have to rotate this to the position you want. And now it's one piece, I can't pull it back apart. So I'm gonna slide that over. sliding that over, making sure the bottom there is seated nicely in the hole that's already there. Okay, let's see what's next. Collet tape, unable to answer the thumb screw. Okay, mine was pretty loose to begin with. So there's plenty of room. Even at full tight, it's not gonna. So if I know correctly, that's what this is for. Kind of help thicken it up a little bit. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Get out of the way, man. Make sure it's nice and tight. Gross. Hit. Even though I know it's clean water in here, I still don't like to touch it with my hands. Make sure. Oh, it wants me to tighten it while holding it down, so just to be safe, I'm going to loosen it again. Put one hand on top to make sure it is all the way in as I tighten. Alright, now it's good. Next step, now we're going to put the toilet handle together. Whoops! Oh boy. Alright. I got my hands all wet. So, here's the handle. It's got a square nut. Handle's going to go in the hole. I'm going to put it down so I can use both hands to get it through there. There we go. So now it's in. Other side. Another rubber washer. And nut. So the fun thing about these is it's not going to matter. You're gonna, everybody flush it down, I'm going to flush up. What? Alright. Next. Push down the button on the handle switch box. And insert the end of the spindle in the opening of the switch box. Make sure the square end of the spindle is inserted in the square of the back of the opening of the switch box. Do not kink the yellow cable. It needs to be in a sweeping curve. See, so this is where I think I'm going to have to move and rotate that unit because I can't get a nice sweeping curve right now. So, that was my mistake. Let's take it back apart real quick. So I'll probably need two hands again. Isn't that always the way? So I'm taking it off just because it's easier to rotate this thing with two hands if I can. There we go. So if that's this way, keep that in mind now. Alright, so I took it back apart because I wanted to see how the cord was going to go. It needed to be sweeping without kinking, and I wanted it not to get pushed down by the lid of the tank. So by just kind of dry fitting it, I see that with the box pointed down with the blue going out, on my toilet, this is going to be the motion I need to go. So when I tighten the this back down into the base, it needs to be facing this way, not back here, not too far towards the front. And now I know, so maybe I'd recommend, dry fitting it before you torque it down. If it was in the instructions that way and I didn't read it correctly, I apologize. But a little tip that makes sense to me. So I'm putting it back together. So it's put down, it's pushed. Got my spacer here. I'm going to push down on here and tighten my screw. Get the overflow valve out of my way. So pushing down, and I'm just hand tightening. So I want to make sure that green is in the hole pretty tight. Not ridiculous. I'm not trying to shove it through the toilet, but I want to make sure I have a seal. That looks like that's tight. That's not going anywhere. So this is designed, it can fit a couple of different directions. In my case, it's going to go like that. Push that down. Looks like it's on. So the yellow wire is actually below. Next step. Okay, so the blue tab can bring in more or less water into, pushing a tab up will reduce the amount of water used. And you want to make sure the water is over the top of the flush valve. Gravity fed toilets require water pressure, blah, blah, blah. So, did I miss it? Let's see here. Alright, it doesn't say it clearly in the instructions, but I'm going to assume stick the overflow back in the tube. That's what it's there for. My blue adjustment, I'm going to start all the way down. I'm going to go about halfway up. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get that camera in there. So you see that blue valve or switch? That slides up and down. I'm going to start halfway and see where that works. Okay, that's seated. Everything looks good. Turn some water back on. Ooh, I'm dripping already. Why am I dripping now? Am I dripping from the toilet or from the shutoff valve? Let's see. Toilet feels dry. Oh, it's a shutoff. Oh, that sucks. Let's keep an eye on that now. Lovely. Nowhere related to the product. So water's back on. Filling up. Yay! So in all, it isn't that difficult to install. Probably took me longer because I was trying to do the video and make sure that you guys see each step of the way. And my one mistake, and anything you do when you're installing, if you can dry fit it, which means put it in without tightening everything down, just kind of set it in and see where it's going to go, is a good idea. I know better, I should have, so that's why I had to take it back out, but if you do the test fit, then you won't have to, and it'll work out good. So I've got enough water, looks like to flush the toilet. Let's see what happens. Oh! It's working! Look at it go! Look at it go! It's beautiful! Let's see how this thing goes. Oh, it's just filling up too. Got to make sure it's going to shut off. Like I said, I only need enough water to go over top of this. And forgive me for not remembering the names of all your things, the technical names. Come on. And this. Come on, there we go. All right, so that is a full toilet. I'm gonna sit quietly for a second and see if I can hear any water leaking. Doesn't sound like it. I don't have a Sharpie, or else I just draw a line to make sure. So let's see at half level in a full tank how much water this is going to use. Now this is the fun thing. Like I said, you can go up. That used almost the whole tank. So just because I'm curious, I'm going to raise that all the way up to the top, that little blue switch that we were talking about. And that's supposed to control how much water it uses when you flush the toilet. Alright. Let me just double check, make sure. Yep. Push the tab down, adds more water to the flushing. Pulling the tab up reduces the amount of water used. So let's fill it up and see how much it uses when it's all the way up. If there's an actual difference that we can see. That's one of the main points of this whole system is conserve some water. Of course, I'm going to waste how much flushing over and over again to show you guys. That's kind of funny. There it is. Alright. Here's the comparison. Yeah, it used less water. Not a lot less, in my opinion. But I guess when you're doing by gallons, every little bit helps. So, pretty exciting. I could probably save more if I wanted to adjust this to fill up fast, or not let the tank fill up as much. Let's see what happens here. He said I only need enough to cover this, technically, to make the toilet work. So anything above that does its job. Okay, so I'm only about a ½ inch above now. I'm going to go even more with this thing just because I'm curious. Flipping it up. Yeah, does your toilet flip up? I don't think so. Mine does. So you can get it on Amazon. You can check out their website and stuff. If I remember correctly, the idea is that you are not going to ever have to replace this unit. It's a lifetime guarantee, at least on the parts. As long as it's installed correctly, it's not supposed to ever leak. Whereas your typical flappers eventually get yuck and corrode and do all kinds of nasty stuff. So, looks good. I got just enough to clear it. Look at me, saving water. Alright. I think that's about it for the day. Like I said, the electrician didn't come. I'm going to do the other toilet another day. It looks like it's a little more intricate work. because of the type of toilet, and I don't have the right assembly for it. So it'll give me something to do tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you later.